Hey guys, in the last video we went ahead and we made a post request using the HTTP module to the JSON placeholder website. We also made it so that we would add a user to our list right here. Now what I want to do is put a delete button next to each user and have us make a delete request to the API. Alright, so I'm going to put the button right below the UL right here. So we'll put actually let's go below that line break. And we'll put in a button here. Let's put a click event, which we'll call a function called on delete click. Okay, and let's see, that's actually going to get passed in user.id, so we know what user we're talking about. Alright, and then let's just add a class to this button as well. We'll say btn danger, which will make it red. And then let's also do btn-sm, which will make it really small. Save that. Okay, let's actually put a line break under the button as well. Let's see, let's actually add another one. There we go. So now we have a delete button under each user. I know this is kind of squished, but I want you guys to see both at the same time. Now, when we click it, it's going to call a function called onDeleteClick, so we're going to want to create that. So let's go down here, onDeleteClick, which takes in the ID. And let's see, just to test it out, we'll say console log ID. And let's open up the console over here with F12, and if I click on this one, we'll get 1, 2, and so on. So we want to be able to call a data service called delete user, which we haven't created yet, but we will. So let's say data service.delete user, and that's going to take in the ID, and then it's going to be an observable. So we want to subscribe, and let's say res, we'll get the result. And it's going to give us back an empty object, I believe. So if we just want to say console log res, okay, and then we're going to go to our data service, and we want to create that delete user. So let's go down here. I'm actually going to copy. Let's copy this here. Okay, we'll change that to delete user, and takes in an ID. And then we want to do http.delete, and then we just want to make sure we add to the URL the ID. So right here we'll say users/ and then just concatenate on the ID. Alright, and then that should do it. So let's save it. Now if I click on delete on one of these, we get back basically just an empty object. Now that makes the request and it's successful, but we also want to update the UI. We want to be able to delete these users and have it go away. So let's go back to our onDeleteClick, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to loop through all of our users and then match this ID to the current iteration that matches it, and then we'll splice it out. Okay, so let's do a for loop here, and we're going to say let I equals 0 as long as I is less than this dot users dot length. And we want to just increment by 1, I++. And then let's do an if. So we'll say if this dot users, the current iteration, so put in an I there, dot ID is equal to the ID that's passed in here, then we know that's the one we want to get rid of. So we're just going to say this dot users dot splice and pass in the index or the I iteration, whatever you want to call it, and we just want to delete 1 from that. Alright, so let's save that. Let's go over here and let's look at this one here, Irvin Howell, and we'll click delete, and now he's gone. Okay, we'll delete Patricia, so we can delete all of these, but obviously if we reload the page, they're going to come back because it's still fetching from the remote server, and it's not going to let us actually delete stuff off of that. Alright, but that's how you make a delete request.